American Dad is a television show created by Seth MacFarlane. Ever since its debut in 2005, it has enamored viewers all over the world with its biting social commentary, clever writing, and wacky characters. But most of all, people love the theme song. But no one loves the theme song more than the American Dad speedrunning community. Until recently, this community was very small and almost non-existent. But thanks to a few dedicated players, this opening has been cracked wide open, and players are flooding in to be the world record holder for American Dad.
Alright, let's do this!
Several skips have been found, some of which include controversial methods of applying, making this one of the most cutthroat games in the speedrunning community. This is the world record progression of American Dad. As stated earlier, the speedrunning community for American Dad was fairly small until recently. And the reason for that is right out of the gate, a world record was set by none other than a player known as Seth MacFarlane in 2005. Thankfully, he was recording his run, and it still exists to be viewed online to this very day. His time was 29 seconds exactly, which back then was seen as a perfect run, and really, it still is. The vault out of the bed into the shoes is a trick that many novice American Dad speedrunners get stuck on, and Seth gets it first try. But that's nothing compared to the dive into the car, a 3-frame trick, which Seth nails perfectly. Many runners tried to beat this time, but no one was successful. This record was held for an incredible 14 years, until recently, a breakthrough. Enter Live. He is a prominent figure in the American Dad community, and for good reason. He had been labbing new tech for American Dad, and on July 7, 2019, the entire community was shaken when they were shown the new world record for American Dad, using the floor clip glitch.
The sun in the sky has a smile on his face, and he's shining a salute to the American race.
Seth's 14-year-long reign was no more, and now the world record stood at 23.20 seconds. But that begs the question, just how was this trick discovered? Live discovered that reloading your save right before a stand hits the ground lets you clip to the floor, and since the closest thing to you while out of bounds is the hug your family checkpoint, you'll reload there. This trick breathed a lot of new life into the community. The only problem was that Live's run was nigh untouchable. Much like Seth before him, Live executed everything else he had to do, including the skip, to perfection. The only way this run could be topped is if another breakthrough was found, and for 4 months, there was nothing. But finally, on November 20th, the record was broken by a player who started running the game after Live's legendary run. His name was Fuck. Fuck was part of the group the American Dad speedrunning community called the Neo-Revolutionaries. They were members who joined after the floor skip glitch was discovered, and out of all of them, Fuck was the fastest improver. While he struggled with some aspects such as the flagpole, he would be the first to pull off a newly discovered glitch in a run. This glitch was the newspaper skip. In every American Dad run, there is a section where Stan is forced into a cutscene where he reads the newspaper. For years, American Dad runners have searched for a way to bypass this cutscene, and Fuck did it. Prominent Labber Cardboard explains how the glitch was discovered, and how it works. Basically, if you have your internal clock set to be changed approximately 9 seconds before daylight savings time occurs as the run begins, the game won't know which headline to show you. And surprisingly, instead of soft locking, the game just bypasses the cutscene altogether. With this new glitch, Fuck was able to get a 21:12, 2 seconds faster than Live's world record. The run was sloppy, sure, but it was just the beginning of what was to come. But any American Dad runner can safely say, no one was expecting what was about to come next. In the background, as all this buzz was going around about the newspaper skip, a runner was labbing their own strategies unbeknownst to the community. A Panda Vivo had been running American Dad since July as well, but since his times were nothing spectacular, he was overlooked in the grander scheme of things. But a Panda Vivo discovered something. Before we get into what, we have to address that American Dad is normally ran on the PlayStation 2. This is due to loading times being a few frames faster and the input lag being almost negligible. However, the original world record was set on the GameCube version of the opening, and due to this, a small sect of runners play on that version out of respect to Seth MacFarlane. A Panda Vivo was one of these runners, and thanks to his loyalty, he was about to be rewarded. You see, he discovered that a different newspaper skip existed only on the GameCube version, and this one was faster than the daylight savings time variation. This skip is performed by pausing the opening on every 5 frames just before the newspaper cutscene is initiated. After doing this, you attempt to reload your save. This will make the opening hitch and corrupt any save data for the opening on the memory card, but will also place you after the newspaper cutscene, allowing you to complete your run without the cutscene. When this trick was discovered, there was a lot of controversy on whether or not runs using this method should be counted. It would mean all players would have to switch to the GameCube version if they weren't already playing on it. Eventually, it was decided that the trick was legal, and people started going to work attempting to get a new world record. No one was grinding harder than a Panda Vivo though. For days, a Panda Vivo would constantly stream attempts, and while some got close, none were breaking the current world record. But on November 25th, there was a run that was going extremely well. A Panda Vivo was able to pull off the floor clip glitch and make it to the kitchen flawlessly. All that was left was to use the newspaper skip.
Alright, let's do this.
The sun
Yes,
in the
okay,
sky
we got
has
that.
a smile on his face, and he's shining
Alright, here's the hard part.
to the
I did it! Oh my god, I actually did it! Oh my god, I did it! No way! I can't believe I did. Oh my god, right? Oh my god.
And that's where the world record stands today. A Panda Vivo admits that his car dive in the world record run is a little sloppy, so there's still more potential to bring this world record down further. The American Dad community is growing ever larger, and more glitches are being found each day. Talks about skipping the entire house sequence are theoretically possible in task runs, but with proper execution, could happen sooner rather than later. American Dad is far from a solved game, and there's plenty more excitement to be found. Thanks for watching.